Hello again everyone, Marcus here. I review stuff today. My cat and I are reviewing the song Piece of Me by Britney Spears. This is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that come from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way the series works is I'll do reaction videos for 2, sometimes 3 songs from each album, and then eventually I'll go and listen to the rest of the album on my own, come back and let you know what I thought. And so this song comes off Britney Spears' Blackout album, which was released by Jive in 2007, and is number 441 on the list. About the album, Rolling Stone says the pop queen vents all her raging party girl hostility in Blackout, the weirdest, wildest music of her life. Blackout is her avant-garde, or is her avant-disco concept album about fame, scandal, divorce, and dancing on tables in a cloud of glitter and Cheetos dust. I miss American Dream since I was 17. Britney sneers in Piece of Me with her voice warped into an electro-punk snarl. Hey, we're listening to that song today. When she asks, "You want a piece of me?" she's either pimping herself out or threatening to kick your ass. Either way, it's Britney, bitch. So I guess that's where that phrase comes from. I'm not like the biggest fan of The Office. I like it, don't get me wrong. I'm just not one of those like Office fanatics, you know. But it gets me every time, that scene where like Michael pulls up. I want to say he's driving a convertible or maybe just his car, I forget. And he pulls up with his like sunglasses and he's like, "It's Britney, bitch." And so I don't know why that gets me every single time. But anyway, I guess it's off of this album. Let's jump in. Usually before I do a song, especially a song from an artist I haven't done yet on the channel, I'll mention how much I've heard from that artist. And come on, guys, it's Britney Spears. I've heard, Baby One More Time. I don't know if that's actually the actual name of the song. I've probably heard a few more, but that's the one that's coming to my mind right now, But again, I've heard the classics in a sense. I've heard the ones that put her on the map, that kind of thing. I've heard the Britney Spears songs that everybody's heard. So don't know if I've heard much from Blackout, though. So let's jump in. Here we go. This is Britney Spears' Piece of Me. Let's do it. Forget the audio. In my headphones. I know you guys can hear it, but I can't. So
I'm missing American dreams since I was 17. Don't matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines. They still gon' put pictures.
Don't have my keyboard on. There we go.
I'm missing American dreams since I was 17. Don't matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines. They still gon' put pictures of my derriere in the magazine. You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? I'm this bad media karma. Another day, another drama. Guess I can't see the harm in working and being a mom. And with a kid on my arm, I'm still an exception. Now you want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
You want a piece of me?
I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Britney shameless. You want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. Extra, delicious thin.
You want a piece of
I'm
me?
Mrs. She's too big, now she's too thin. You want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. You want a piece of me? Trying and pissing me off. We'll get in line with the paparazzi who's flipping me off. Hoping I'll resort to some havoc, end up settling in court. Now are you sure you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? Mrs. most likely to get on the TV for slipping on the streets when getting the groceries. Not for real, are you kidding me? No wonder there's panic in the industry. I mean, please, do you want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. Lifestyle, the rich and famous.
You want a piece of me?
I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Britney shameless. You want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. Extra, delicious thin.
You want a piece of
I'm
me?
Mrs. She's too big, now she's too thin. You want a piece of me? I'm missing American dreams since I was 17. Don't matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines. They still gon' put pictures of my derriere in piece of me. You want a piece of me.
I kind of like that.
You want a piece of me. I'm Mrs. Lifestyle, the rich and famous.
You want a piece of me.
I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Britney shameless. You want a piece of me. I'm Mrs. Extra, extra, it's just thin.
You want a piece of me.
Mrs. She's too big, now she's too thin. You want a piece of me. I'm Mrs. Lifestyle, the rich and famous.
You want a piece of me.
I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Britney shameless. You want a piece of me. I'm Mrs. Extra, extra, it's just thin.
You want a piece of me.
Mrs. She's too big, now she's too thin. You want a piece of me. Piece of me, me.
Is that just how it ends? Or okay, I guess so. It just sort of ends. Either that or whoever uploaded this version of it maybe forgot to include the last part. I don't know. Man, it's one of those things where, like, again, I've heard the songs that put her on the map, right? I've heard the songs that were inescapable in the late 90s, early 2000s, whenever she rose to fame. I've never truly been like a fan of Britney Spears, although I've never disliked her music. Again, like songs like, Baby One More Time. Toxic is another one I've heard from her. I actually kind of like Toxic, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a pretty good song. But, just some of those songs that I've heard from her, like, they're catchy. They kind of stick with you. You instantly recognize them in public. But I don't think I've ever been a fan of Britney in the sense that I've ever really sought out her music to kind of listen to on my own. So going into this song, I kind of knew it wouldn't necessarily be what I typically listen to. So I really just tried to come at it with as objective as a viewpoint as I could, kind of putting away my biases as much as possible. It's kind of hard to put it away completely. But with that said, if I'm looking at this just from like a musical standpoint, I really like it. Honestly, it's catchy. It makes me kind of chuckle a little bit. It's true to her life. I recall all the stuff that was going on with Britney around this time, when she really rose to fame, and even the stuff that has gone on with her recently with her conservatorship and like her father and all that. I remember, seeing that on social media, seeing that. I don't really watch the news, but, kind of just seeing that online. And so she is one of those figures that is always kind of, maybe not always. I think, there were times where she wasn't necessarily, but who has spent a lot of time in the spotlight, and the lyrics, I think, are, again, true to her life. I think there were some things to really, really enjoy about this song, regardless of, again, if it's normally my taste in music or not. So anyway, let's break it down piece by piece like we always do, of course, starting with the lyrics. So there is a little about section for the song itself. It says, Piece of Me was written and produced by Swedish producers Bloodshy and Avant, and Klas Ahlund, I probably said that wrong, as a response to the media's scrutiny and sensationalism of Spears' private life, which they witnessed by working with her over the years. It was also the last song to be recorded for her 6th studio album, Blackout. Swedish pop icon Robin provides backing vocals. I was wondering who that was, because when he came in, I was like, hey, sounds pretty good. The self-manifesto song lyrics are written like a biography retelling her mishaps. Yeah, and there's a music video, which I chose not to watch because I typically have bad luck with music videos getting blocked here. So anyway, let's take a look at those lyrics. So, I miss American dream since I was 17. Don't matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines. They're still gonna put pictures of my derriere in the magazine. You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? Guys, I had to chuckle because the fact that they use the word derriere instead of like butt, ass, I don't know, behind, backside, whatever. I just thought that was kind of funny. And like the way that she pronounced it that first time especially, I was like, that's kind of funny. I don't know, it's probably not meant to be funny, but just that's one of those words I don't know if I can ever take seriously. So, but again, despite the fact that I'm laughing, obviously a very serious thing that she went to, right? Being a child star, breaking out into the industry, and to a ruthless industry at that, at such a young age. And like she says, doesn't matter if she's just, kind of stepping out onto the scene or if she tries to sneak away, they're following her, right? They're taking pictures of her. They're going to post pictures of her ass places, or her derriere, excuse me. And again, that, as Rolling Stone said, that little "you want a piece of me" is sort of like you really want to come at me like that? Let's do it. Or essentially like, I know I'm so famous that everyone kind of wants a piece of me, if that makes sense. I miss bad media karma, another day, another drama. Guess I can't see the harm in working and being a mama, and with a kid on my arm, I'm still an exceptional earner. You want a piece of me. And again, just true to her life, right? Like, it's a shame, and I hope we've gotten better about it recently, but I don't know for sure. Just because I don't really follow news or media like that, but to think that it would be frowned upon that, again, she could be a performer and be a parent. And I think that kind of goes back to the fact that, honestly, like, for a while, she was a sex symbol, right? She was like, America's sweetheart, I think is what some, news outlets and stuff called her, right? And so when she started kind of going down this road, which to me was no fault of her own, it was, brought on by paparazzi, by media pressure, all that stuff, right? But I mean, once you're a sex symbol and you have a kid, and it's like, okay, well, what's wrong with that? According to the media, a lot. But as she says here, like, what is the problem? So again, I have always said that I feel like Britney got, a raw deal, got a bad rap, and deserved much better, and I remember, that at this time, all the crap that she was going through. I remember the early YouTube video that kid. He's like a full blown adult now, obviously, but that kid who was just like, leave Britney alone. That was one of those like early viral videos, right? So, man, that feels like forever ago. I will say that as well. I miss his lifestyles of the rich and famous. You want a piece of me. I misses, oh my God, that Britney's shameless. You want a piece of me. I misses extra extra, this just in, you want a piece of me. I misses she's too big, now she's too thin, you want a piece of me. The first time she said she's too big, I was like, oh, she's like larger than life, like she's grown, her celebrity has grown too much. And then when she said now she's too thin, I was like, oh no, it's that body shaming that she faced, which she again faced a lot of it, and it's so yucky to again be considered like a sex symbol, but then also be under the microscope. And every little thing that you do is scrutinized. You're too thin, you're too big, etc., etc. I misses you want a piece of me, trying and pissing me off. Well, get in line with the paparazzi who's flipping me off, hoping I'll resort to some havoc, end up settling in court. Now, are you sure you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? I misses most likely to get on the TV for stripping on the streets when getting the groceries. And then when getting the groceries, now for real, are you kidding me? No wonder there's panic in the industry. I mean, please, do you want a piece of me? And again, she alludes multiple times to the fact that she is kind of larger than life in the sense that, again, everyone wants a piece of her. Everyone wants a piece of the pie. There's money to be made off of her image, of her paparazzi photos, of her flipping out. Again, justified in my opinion. But I miss his lifestyles of the rich and famous. You want a piece of me. I miss his, oh my God, that Britney's shameless. You want a piece of me. I miss his extra extra, this just in. You want a piece of me. I miss his she's too big, now she's too thin. You want a piece of me. I miss American Dream since I was 17. Don't matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines. They're still going to put pictures of my derriere in the magazines. You want a piece of me. You want a piece of me. Mrs. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Kind of repeats the chorus there a couple times. Yep. So honestly, again, lyrics true to life, even if they weren't, entirely written by her. Stays true to, again, what she was kind of going through. And I think she makes a good point here, right? Like, you're essentially making money off of me, hoping that I'm going to do something that you can profit off of, which is yucky. I've never truly understood the idea or the reason behind paparazzi, just like capitalizing off of human suffering, right? It's wild to me. And now I have this whole thing about how with social media, with smartphones, like, we've kind of become the paparazzi. There was a while back here in Austin, Texas, this like girl on 6th Street who covered herself in like horse shit from like one of the police officers, I guess, who rides horseback. I know, like, super Texas stereotype. And she was just covering herself. And there was an image from that kind of event happening of just like a circle of people around her, all recording or taking pictures of her, covering herself with shit on her phone. And when I see that, I'm like, man, did no one stop to, instead of again capitalizing on this person's perhaps mental breakdown or whatever, instead of stopping and maybe helping this human being, they just pull out their phones and now they're taking videos and pictures. That way they can maybe get a few likes on social media. It's crazy that like we've almost become the new paparazzi, where everything has to be captured on camera, on pictures. Anyway, I could go into a whole rant about this, but regardless to say, I think part of that is that her message is as true, I feel like, then as it is now, which is interesting to say about like a pop song. But like, how many celebrities has this happened to? How many does it continue to happen to? Right. So, I mean, truly, I think it's really well written. Again, the use of the word derriere aside, I think it's a pretty good song lyrically. I'm giving it 2 big thumbs up. As far as instrumentation and vocals go, I got to say, I don't really care for the vocal style here. I think when, what was the guy's name? He came in, I thought his vocal piece was nice. There were parts of Britney's vocal performance that I liked, but to me, it sounded a little bit too much, maybe not like Britney. And again, I get the idea that it's supposed to be, this is a different type of Britney than we're used to seeing, right? This is like Britney kind of fighting back, right? So of course she's going to maybe change up her sound a little bit. But for me, I feel like she was maybe trying to sound like other contemporaries at the time, that kind of thing. So didn't really care for the vocals a whole lot, but again, it was passable. It was good. The instrumentation was, I think, a pretty standard like pop beat, kind of easy to get into though. There was a really interesting instrumental part, which I'm assuming they did with maybe some keyboards or something, kind of near the middle, maybe towards the back half of the song, that I actually kind of really liked. It was a nice refreshing little change of pace before kind of getting back to that same beat. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it wasn't that bad. I know I said a few negative things about the instrumentation, the vocals, but it wasn't too bad. I'm going to give it a thumb up in that regard. As far as replay value goes, again, maybe not the exact kind of song that I normally listen to, but then I think there's enough pieces here that, if I'm in the supermarket and this song comes on, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I know this song. I'll kind of listen to it. Does it make my playlist? Maybe not. I don't think so. It's just one of those I don't see myself listening to very often. But it's not a bad song by any means. So I'm not even going to rate it for replay value. I'm just going to say, not exactly for me for everyday listening. But if I hear it, I'm probably going to enjoy it. So, hey guys, with that, that's going to be the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed it, first of all. Second of all, if you enjoyed the music, definitely go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And of course, if you enjoyed what you saw here on the channel, consider supporting the channel by liking and subscribing and commenting with your requests, because I'm always taking those. And you can also check the description to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.